Friends, in this video we will study what is name and what is scope of a variable. So what do you mean by name? Name in a programming language is a mnemonic character. Mnemonic character means it consists of alphabets and digits used to represent something. Okay, name is a mnemonic character and it is used to represent something. So in most programming languages, these names are identifiers. So identifiers can be uppercase letter or digits from 0 to 9. Names are used to refer variables, constants, operations, etc. And names are essential in the context of abstraction. So abstraction means what? Abstraction means is a process by which a programmer associates a name with a potentially complicated program fragment. If there is a complicated program fragment, we can call it by a name. Okay, so that every time we don't want to explain this complicated program, we just call by name. So in that context also the names are used. Later it can be thought in terms of its purpose or function rather than how it is achieved. So it is very useful, names are very useful in the context of abstraction, because every time we need to explain this complicated program fragment again and again, we can call it by a name. And this abstraction is also two types. We are using control abstraction and data abstraction. In control abstraction, it allows the programmer to hide complicated code using a simple interface. Using a simple interface, we can hide this complicated code. In that case also we can use names. In data abstractions also names are used. In data abstraction, we can hide data representation behind a simple set of operations. So for example, classes are data representation that allow programmer to hide data representation. So these are all the these are the concept of names in programming languages. You just remember all this. Name is a mnemonic character and it is used to represent something, and names are used in the context of abstraction. In the context of abstraction, it means that we can hide many complicated things under a name. The another concept is scope. Scope is another concept. The scope is in the context within a computer program in which a variable name or identifier is valid or can be used or within a declaration has effect. Scope in the context within a computer program in which a variable name or other identifier is valid and it can be used within which a declaration has effect. We will see more about scope. The scope of a binding is another name is visibility of an entity. There are two types of scope is used. One is static scope and dynamic scope. Static scoping means we are searching a variable containing block and we are searching the outer block and so on. In dynamic programming, where scoping follows the execution path the languages is. In dynamic scoping, the calling function is searched, then the function which called that calling function is again searched and so on, progressing up the call stack. So in this example we will look what is the output when we are using the static scope and dynamic scope. You see int I equal to 1, then void print data. There is a function to print out cout I. Then main functions int I equal to 2, print data, return 0. Okay, you see the program fragment. So what will be the output if the static scoping is used? If static scoping is using in a programming language, the result will be 1. Why? Because the static scope of a variable definition is done by searching its containing block function. Then if that fails, searching the outer containing block and so on. First we see that int I equal to 1, then the output will be the 1. But in dynamic case, we go for the block that call the calling function. So in this main, we can see print data, that is a calling function. It will again go to void print data, then the output is printed. So the output will be 2. So like in stethoscope, another name is lexical scope. So it depends upon the structure of the program. Dynamic scope depends upon the execution path of the language. So this is all about the name and scope in the programming.